How do you feel about the mathematical element of kind of music and creating hits now, where TikTok has basically taken what makes a hit song, boiled it down to an algorithm, and been able to package it as creating earworms that are inevitable, like the snap of Thanos' fingers?
I think it's fine. I mean, honestly, I don't really.
I don't even think that's
what a big opinion from.
No, I don't think that's like limited to TikTok. I think like top 40 hits are designed historically in a way that like appeals to the largest, broadest audience possible.
Yeah, that's why it's fine.
I
don't really see it as that different.
Yeah.
I don't see it as that different. I think it's the mechanical element of it, the computer element of it that saddens me a little bit. At least when it was some music doctor who had taken the time to figure out what made a hit song and moved around the pieces, like that made sense to me, and I could just look from the outside and be like, that music sucks, but people like it.
What do you mean? Who's the music doctor? In what sense?
Well, there's producers that basically are on like
Rick Rubin, who apparently
like a Benny Blanco, like someone who's made like 100 hit
I mean, those
songs.
people still exist.
I am aware, but for that, a lot of times I can look at it from the outside and kind of be like, that sucks. That's radio music. I don't like that. But now it just feels like these songs are incepted, almost like they're mathematically perfect to get inside my ear and just stay there.
I think that's cool, honestly. Like I feel like when it comes to making hit songs, like the point is to come up with something catchy. I think it's a challenge to come up with something catchy. I think there's an artistry to that, and which I deeply respect. I feel like through the eras of music that I've existed during, as far as, radio music and kind of, radio being the testing ground for a lot of stuff during the 2000s, like it was so fucking soulless and homogenized and shitty. And while there are like a lot of, cool hits and moments that you could look back on as far as like pop and mainstream stuff, with boy bands and pop divas and so on and so forth, like, it's cool to look back on stuff like Christina and Britney and Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. But the thing is, like, everybody forgets, like, there were so many fucking B and C level artists that were also being broadcast with as much regularity that sounded exactly the fucking same, and you were just getting exposed to the same shit over and over and over and over and over, and it sucked.
98 Degrees.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
LFO, whatever. But, and then after that, as soon as we kind of transitioned into the streaming era, it seemed like things were getting almost worse in a way, because then it was the playlist that reigned supreme, and it was almost like a challenge to come up with the blandest, most wallpaper thing that you could so that it fits in a playlist that people just kind of like listen to endlessly without breaking away from it or changing it or whatever. And I think that led to a lot of bland, just kind of very uniform shit that was just like very agreeable and was frankly quite boring. I think the TikTok algorithms demanding that artists like come up with something as snappy and as quickly as possible has sort of like changed the game and made people think about like, okay, I actually need to think about a hook now, instead of thinking about how can I make a song that is so one-dimensional, it sounds exactly the fucking same from front to back and also sounds exactly the same as whatever song is playing before it and playing after it. That to me is shit. I fucking hate that. It just leads to such just I don't know, maybe as an ADHD person, it just makes for just a very soul-sucking experience. The downsides to the TikTok shit, and it's not even a TikTok thing, it's just kind of a streaming thing in general, because artists get paid off how many times you play a song now, and sometimes if you shorten a song down, you guarantee more plays out of it, because people are going to play a 1 minute and 52-second song more times than they're going to play a 3 minute and 30-second song. So the shitty thing now is that there are a lot of artists that are kind of like killing song structure. I don't mind a catchy moment. Catchy moments are cool, but song structure is kind of going out the window, because financially a lot of people are incentivized to just like completely break their songs down to the most bare of elements,
throw out the rest.
Exactly, and just throw out the rest. So it's like you have that catchy moment, but you don't get an intro, and you get a chorus, a verse, another chorus, and that's it. You don't get another verse, you don't get a bridge, you don't get an outro. It's just basically like in and out as fast as possible, and that's kind of what sucks. But like I said, that's more of a streaming thing than a TikTok thing. Even if TikTok wasn't around, we would still have that problem. Yeah. What's kind of being eliminated is more cool long form shit. Like these days, you don't have a band like Godspeed You Black Emperor, for example.
Oh yeah,
which
just
like
spoken word, like random,
really cool, long, epic, 30-minute long tracks.
The car was burning.
Right, exactly. Like on an album that lasts 90 minutes overall. Because the thing is, if you're going to make money off of that, you have to sell records, and people are not selling records like they used to. And even Godspeed, when they do come out with newer albums, like they still kind of format their music in the same way, but like they'll do like such and such title part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, so that they're breaking it down in like 5-minute chunks so that they're actually getting that streaming revenue.
Speaking of really long form albums that blew my mind recently, just quickly, and then I think we're going to move off music.
No. I have 2 music questions.
Okay. Quickly before we move off. Do you listen to any Floating Points?
Yeah. No,
Did you listen to their album with Pharaoh?
Yeah. That was one of my favorite albums of the year.
Dude, I listened to that.
R.I.P. Pharaoh.
Oh, yeah. When I hike, that's like my...
Oh, cool.
That sends me. And like, it's basically one song.
Yeah. Just different kind of instrumental movements and palettes, kind of on a lot of the same themes.
That was one of your favorite albums of the year?
Yeah, it was in my top 10. Actually, that does impress me. I'm impressed that he's into that.